people were quick to write it off, just saying things like, there's no way they'll be able to make that watchable, it'll probably just be garbage. And now that the teaser's dropped, that's confirmed a lot of people's suspicions that, yep, this is going to be turbo ass. Jack Black as Steve is the biggest one people are pointing the finger at here. So Jack Black plays Steve. For those of you that don't know Minecraft, which is 0 people watching, I'll still just show you anyway. This is Steve. He's basically just playing Jack Black, but in a blue shirt. It looks like he rolled out of bed and they gave him this blue shirt and said, all right, now you're Steve. As if it's Captain America's shield or something. It's pretty low effort from the costume department here that people were making fun of. It'd be like if they made a live-action Simpsons movie and I was cast as Homer and this was my costume, because Homer also wears a white shirt. Like, fucking porn parodies put more work into the costuming. Like SpongeBob SquareNuts. They had a whole get-up for him that you could immediately identify as, oh, that's supposed to be SpongeBob. Here, if he didn't say, I am Steve, I would have had no fucking clue, personally. Just like I have no clue who Jason Momoa is supposed to be here. He looks like a character I would have made in Dress to Impress on Roblox, just combining random shit onto the character. He looks like someone in the Witness Protection Program who's going undercover to see a Creedence Clearwater Revival concert. But at the very least, that's fun. Like, Jason Momoa just being like a, quirky, zany-looking character here in the trailer, like, that's interesting. Jack Black as Steve is just, man, you didn't even really try. Like, Jack Black is a huge draw. Most people really like Jack Black, and he's been in a lot of huge movies recently. If I could, I'd ask the Men in Black to neuralize the knowledge of Borderlands out of my fucking craniums. That way I don't have to remember that Jack Black was in that atrocity. But he's been in some great films, and it looks like he's the go-to now for these studio execs to pick up for children's movies. And based off this teaser, this is very clearly aimed at kids. This is made for toddlers. I'm talking like actual milk-drinking, fucking snot-nosed, diaper-soiling children. This isn't like the Super Mario Bros. Movie where pretty much anyone of all ages can appreciate that film. This one really seems, at least based on this very first glimpse, that it is entirely made for kids that love Minecraft. Not anyone who loves Minecraft. The style of the film is just also kind of off-putting. Danny summed it up best by saying it looks like a Honda commercial. It also just kind of reminds me of something Clash of Clans would have posted on their YouTube channel as like a Facebook ad or something. The animation style is not revolting or anything, except for this stupid fucking thing. But the integration of live action into it just is not done super well in this teaser. It really looks kind of haphazardly thrown.
By the way, I did Minecraft live action
characters just don't blend with the animation as well as I would have thought it would. This movie would have been significantly better if it was
at the behind ring
animated instead of trying to shoehorn and ham-fist in like Jack Black and Jason Momoa just for the sake of having big name star power draw to it. Like, they could have voiced it. Like, I don't know why they didn't take a page out of the Super Mario Bros. Playbook, which was very positively received, absolutely crushed it in the box office, and for some reason Minecraft completely ignores that, comes out here and shits their whole ass with this teaser, which is not being positively received. If it was fully animated, I think it would have stood a far better chance. Ultimately, though, I don't think it's going to matter to the main demographic the movie is trying to appeal to, which is kids. They're not going to care. Kids will just endlessly let videos autoplay, rotting their goddamn brains, just watching like Finger Family or whatever else just happens to scroll through. Like, they're not going to be bothered by things like the live action and animation don't work together super well. But just because I'm not the target audience for this movie doesn't mean I can't insult it and point out its shortcomings. What are they going to do? Have the Enderman come fuck me? This just isn't great looking, and a lot of people aren't very happy with it, especially because apparently it's been 10 years in the making. Like, they started scripting this back in 2014 from what I read. What a weird use of 10 years. What it seems to me, and I could be totally wrong here, I have a tinfoil hat on for this, is they may have had like a bunch of different scripts over the course of the decade, and then they started seeing video game movies succeed, like Sonic, like Detective Pikachu, like Super Mario Bros. And then they just started to rush, like, okay, we need to capitalize on this ASAP. It's hot right now. We have to strike while the iron is hot. We gotta go. And then they push this out. At least that's the impression I get here. Who knows, though? Maybe this was the original vision from the start, all the way back in 2014. They said, we need to games in here. Playing Steve. Regardless, though, right now it's only one teaser, so maybe the next one comes out and it's great. It blows us all away. You know, maybe the movie comes out and it's extraordinary. But I doubt it. And many others are doubting it as well. That's about it. See ya.
A cucumber terrorist.
I feel the need to
And the kids up this morning
for this.
playing,
I
right?
cannot help myself. I have to show you this and talk about it. This is a full-blown Jesus wept situation. This is one of those degenerate acts that the Lord up in heaven turns his head away from in shame with tears in his eyes. Matt sent me this earlier today. I can't even believe this is a real sentence I'm going to say. There's a villain on the loose in Washington, D.C. right now, a true menace to society, a maniac on the loose. And a Reddit user caught them in 4K on camera where they put a cucumber in the grill of their vehicle, an innocent civilian vehicle. This dude comes up, puts a cucumber in the grill, and then fucks himself with it. I'll show you some of the footage here, and I gotta tell you, it seems premeditated. I don't think this is his first rodeo here.
That's crazy.
Oh, I get that reference. Oh, I know that cameo. Because in Astrobot, what you're doing is you're rebuilding a PlayStation 5 after it gets fucking robbed by one of the aliens from the Jimmy Neutron movie. And then you're putting all the pieces back together, and to do that, you need to defeat some enemies, defeat some bosses, and along the way, you're saving some bots. And some of those bots are cameos from beloved PlayStation classics like Ape Escape, like Jak and Daxter. And it's really refreshing to remember how great some of these IPs that Sony does nothing with were, and still are. A lot of these games really still hold up in the modern age. And then there's skins from other games, like Bloodborne. Benjamin said during my stream that Astrobot has done more for Bloodborne than Sony has in the last 10 years. And he's 100% right. Sony fester and die in their fucking putrid butthole, along with many other IP that Sony just trap in the dungeon, fucking lock away in a sarcophagus, and then call the wambulance wondering where'd all our great IP go. It's refreshing to see life with these properties in Astrobot. There's games that I grew up on represented in here, and it's really just nice. It's a feel-good experience. The levels are creative. You pick up some power-ups that'll give you more options besides just the normal punch and jump. So you'll get like little frog clamps.
Yeah, I know you can do this.
Like fucking shooting little frog faces out there to blow things up and attack enemies. You'll get a time-stopping watch to help with solving puzzles. There's secret levels, there's challenge levels, and there's a lot of fun boss fights. It is a simple, enjoyable game. It's not a very long game. I didn't 100% it or anything, but it took me about 7 hours and some change to just finish it. And I did get a lot of it done, but there's still a lot more that I have to do. There's a lot of secret levels I missed. I didn't do every challenge level. I didn't find every puzzle piece. And from what I've read, to Platinum Trophy this game, it's like 10 to 12 hours. So 100% you'll be putting in a little over 10 hours. And I think that's not like a short experience when it's one that is so memorable and one that's probably going to have you smiling from start to finish. I really don't have a single complaint for this game. I couldn't even fucking nitpick something if I wanted to. There is really nothing that this game does for you. Everything it does extremely well. The controls great. It's visually wonderful. There's really fucking crazy physics to this as well that you'll also use to be solving puzzles. There's so much creativity. It oozes style. Every level is
I'm gonna do my own thing.
unique. I actually just can't think of anything that I could try and say is negative about the game. Like, the only one you might be able to say is that it's too short for some people's taste, but for me, I think it's perfect length. Now, while I do think this is going to be a very strong Game of the Year contender, I don't think it's like a guaranteed slam dunk landslide victory for Astrobot. It's been a really good year for games. It's not my favorite game of the year. It's in my top 3, but my favorite game of the year is still Black Myth Wukong. My second favorite game is Space Marine 2, and then just barely behind Space Marine 2 is Astrobot. Those two are fucking shitting and spitting for that number 2 spot. And maybe when I go back and 100% Astrobot, that ranking will move from 3 to 2. But I don't think it's going to beat Black Myth Wukong in my eyes. It's a very good year for games, and I do see a world where Astrobot wins Game of the Year. This is a game that I think appeals to pretty much anyone of any taste. You'd have to be pretty joyless to find things to hate about Astrobot. I do think there are people that might not appreciate it all that much, especially if there's someone whose tastes are more in line with something that's deeper or more narrative heavy or more action oriented. Like maybe there's just not a whole lot of things that you like about puzzle solving, and Astrobot might not be for you. If you don't like platforming, Astrobot might not be for you. But it is objectively good in all of the departments that Astrobot inhabits. It is very good with puzzles. It's very good with platforming. Now, while it's not a challenging game, I don't think it needs to be, because it's still just a really fun game. And there is a challenge to it. Like, there are challenge realms which do present you with difficult shit. But overall, it is an easy game, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Also, I need to mention this. The music in Astrobot is extraordinary, especially in the boss levels. This has boner jams out the wazoo. I was blown away by how good the music was in here. Like, I was bouncing up and down in my seat for some of these tracks. I really do think Astrobot is just a game that pretty much anyone can pick up a controller and really, really have a great time with. Even if you're someone who didn't, like, grow up on PlayStation property, like, you don't even know what the fuck Ape Escape is, so the whole Ape Escape planet, like, means nothing to you, you'll probably still really like it because it's just a really well-made game. So, I do think Astrobot is 100% worth buying. But I don't think you should go out and buy a PlayStation 5 just to play it. And please, Lord help us, don't buy the PlayStation 5 Pro for 700 clams just to play Astrobot. Don't buy that, by the way. I already made a video ranting about the absurdity of the PS5 Pro pricing. No disk drive, no stand, and $700 for a moderate upgrade to the existing PlayStation 5. But anyway, the point I'm making is I don't think it's a system seller type of game where it's so amazing that you need to go out right now and find a PlayStation 5 before it's too late. You need to experience Astrobot right now. This is a game where if you have a PlayStation 5, this is a must-own title, but I don't think you need to go spend a ton of money to get the PlayStation 5 just to play Astrobot. It is a game that you will have a great 10 to 12 hours with, and you might replay it every now and then just because it's really enjoyable to play, but I don't think it's a game you're going to be pumping like 30, 40, 50 hours into, you know what I mean? But I think it is extraordinary. I think it absolutely lives up to the hype, and I definitely think it is a game that is 100% worth buying. That's about it. See ya.
I ain't played in so long.
If it looks like I'm half awake right now, it's because I am. Rings of Power Season 2 just came out, and I watched all 3 episodes back to back to back. And I can say with confidence, it is probably the most boring show I've ever forced myself to watch through. I'm not ashamed to admit I dozed off a few times in the first 2 episodes. It's impossible not to. It's such an unbelievable, unfathomably boring snooze fest of a production that somehow costs like $1 billion or something. And I even rewound the parts that I slept through because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything good. Spoiler alert, I didn't. All it did was extend this painful journey for 3 episodes. The third episode though, I hunkered down, muscled through it like Clockwork Orange style. I peeled my eyelids open so I didn't fall asleep and caught everything. And it's just so unremarkable in every possible category. Sitting through Rings of Power is like sitting through a Jigglypuff song. You just can't help but fall asleep. It's just so dull. I didn't like Season 1 very much, but I think Season 2 is off to an even more brutally boring start. 98% of these 3 episodes is just 2 characters talking to each other. They're just vomiting sob stories into each other's mouths like it's 2 girls, 1 cup. That is almost every single scene.
The Doom Boy is pretty
Season
cool.
2. Like the very.
That's pretty dope. Felicia. I still ain't been in Doom's Tower. Jubilee.
Hi there. I'm about to go on a passionate, joyful rant, so please ensure that your seatbelt is buckled because I'm about to torpedo my opinions at you like the logs out of Final Destination 1. I am so beyond disgusted and tired of modern greedy video game pricing. And the biggest proponent behind this criminal level of greed is Ubisoft. I've said for the last 3 or so years that nothing makes me lose faith in an upcoming game quicker than seeing a Ubisoft original appear in the trailer. If I was a member of their evil syndicate think tank, my number one suggestion to the board of directors would be hide Ubisoft as much as possible from the credits of these games so people don't know that they're behind these productions. Bury it somewhere so that people have to go looking to unearth the truth because no one likes Ubisoft. I'd have more optimism about an upcoming game if it said it was a Bernie Madoff masterpiece. Like, I'd trust anyone more than Ubisoft. I think they have produced almost exclusively stinkers over the last, 5, 6, maybe even 7 years, aside from, of course, Rainbow Six Siege, which I think is just an accidental hit for them. And it's an older game. It's a 9-year-old game, and I think the reason that it continues to do well is because Ubisoft forgets that they're involved with it, so they let it do its own thing. But anything Ubisoft gets its grubby little mitts in just is a disaster. Anyone remember the Avatar Legends of Pandora that came out less than a year ago? Didn't think so. And in fact, I bet you didn't even register that I got the name wrong. I double-checked. It came out 6 months ago, and it's actually called Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. But I imagine some of you watching this did play it and totally forgot about its existence, just like Netflix paralyzed out of your mind, but because it was so boring that your brain did its best to defend you from the tedium. It is just a fucking snooze fest that I guarantee you sleptwalk through. Just mindlessly wandering around in this huge state of this Ubisoft open-world formula that they run into the ground. It's just fucking pitiful productions that they've been behind for the last 5 or 7 years. But before I get too deep into this Ubisoft hate wagon that I'm just vomiting out here, I do want to passionately be excited about something. The GamerStop's waifu cup with me on it, baby. The most beautiful cup you've ever seen in your life. Look at this goblet. That's me. Yeah, it's available right now at gamersets.gg. I'll put a link to it in the description. Go ahead and pick that up right now. But the point is, Ubisoft, I don't think has made good games in a while, and I include Assassin's Creed in this. I haven't enjoyed Assassin's Creed in so long. The last good one, and this isn't a controversial opinion, was Black Flag. And I didn't enjoy Black Flag as much as everyone else, but I can recognize that it was probably the last good Assassin's Creed game. And I play all of them. I tried them all. Except I only lasted 4 hours in Mirage because it was such a fucking snooze fest. And Valhalla, I think, is the only time I've ever fallen asleep on stream. They're just boring games. And this is all a long-winded precursor to what I want to talk about today, which is the newest Assassin's Creed game, Shadows, which of course Ubisoft is behind. Now there's a lot of controversy around this, a ton of drama because of the main character here, or one of the main characters. I don't give a fuck about it. I'm just going to tell you right now up top, I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. I don't care. I legitimately could not care less about the historical accuracy of the Assassin's Creed franchise. That means about as much to me as the tiny hairs around my asshole. It is truly worthless to me. I wouldn't care if you played as Dobby the House Elf in the new Feudal Japan Assassin's Creed game. It doesn't matter as long as it's a good game, which I don't think that will be because I have no faith in Ubisoft and even less faith in Assassin's Creed. But what I do care about greatly is the pricing that Ubisoft is spearheading here. They just did this for Star Wars Outlaws with the $100 plus versions, and now they're doing it again for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I am so fucking tired of it. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. These are your pricing options for the different editions of Assassin's Creed Shadows. So, for the standard edition, it's $70, but you have to pre-order it if you want access to a pre-order exclusive mission. The mission's called Thrown to the Dogs, and the only way you get access to this, it seems, is if you pre-order the game, which they haven't even shown any motherfucking gameplay for yet. I think that is the biggest load of barnacles ever. You're just pre-ordering based off of a cinematic trailer alone. It's a terrible, shameful thing to ask of the consumer, but that's Ubisoft in a nutshell. They're completely shameless. And moving on to the Gold Edition, you get the pre-order bonus plus a season pass and 3-day early access. Season pass in a single-player game is probably one of the most embarrassing things ever that's become commonplace. If I was the goober at Ubisoft that came up with the idea of single-player season passes, I would never share that information with anybody ever. You wouldn't be able to torture that out of me at Guantanamo Bay. Batman couldn't beat that shit out of me. That is so fucking embarrassing. And in this case, it's especially egregious because the season pass for the Gold Edition includes a mission, so it's just paywalling even more content of the game behind the season pass and the higher price tag. And let's talk about that 3-day early access real quick, because I've seen a lot of discussion around it, and they're making great points about it. For 110 clams, you're not paying to play the game 3 days early, you're paying to play it on time. If you pay $70, you're playing the game 3 days late. So it's not early access. For 110 bones, you play the game when it comes out, and unless you fork over the additional 40, you play the game 3 days late. That's how it works. That is extraordinarily anti-consumer. But increasing the amount of money just to play the game when it fucking releases is absurd. And then we move on to the Ultimate Edition. For $130, you get pay-to-win elements in a single-player game. 5 skill points and then like a bunch of cosmetics. I'm gonna be a little mean here with some tough love. If you have to pay an additional $60 just for a little bonus pay to win in your single player game, I think you need to take a hard look in the mirror and just recognize that maybe gaming's just not for you. Like, if that's the only way you'll enjoy the game is being able to, like, pay to win through a single-player game, I think maybe, take up a different kind of hobby. I feel like such a fucking Redditor gatekeeping gaming, but that is so unbelievably silly to pay an additional $60 for 5 skill points and then a couple of cosmetics. Like, I'm sure the cosmetics will look good, but they're not worth almost paying the exact same price as the game itself just to get some cosmetics for it. That is a crazy thing to ask of people. Then, of course, there's the final option here, which is getting the Ultimate Edition through Ubisoft Plus, which is their own cringe subscription service for $18 a month, because every single fucking thing on the planet has a subscription service now behind it. I bet there's going to be a subscription service for Mr. Bean, like Mr. Bean Extra On-Demand Turbo Arcade, even though there's only 15 episodes of Mr. Bean like ever aired and all freely accessible on YouTube right now. So I bet they'll probably come out with some kind of Mr. Bean subscription in the next few years. That's just the number one trend that every tech company follows now, and Ubisoft is of course no stranger to that. So they have Ubisoft Plus, which hopefully they have less than double digits of users signed up to that, because I don't know who in their right mind would sign up for Ubisoft Plus. But anyway, that's the other option of getting the Ultimate Edition. I hate the direction Ubisoft is trying to push AAA gaming. I hate this pricing scheme. I think it's terrible. It was bad when they did it with Star Wars Outlaws. It's bad that they're doing it with Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I'm really hoping that it flops extraordinarily hard so that way more AAA companies don't try and emulate it. Because I have no doubt there's a lot of companies paying close attention to what Ubisoft's doing here. And if it's successful, they'll try and employ similar tactics. And that would just be bad for everybody. So I wanted to vent about this a little bit. I think it's super sus. I hate where Ubisoft is trying to take the industry. So yeah, I kind of wanted to just rant about this a little bit and get it all out of my system. I'm still going to try Assassin's Creed Shadows because I still give every single game that comes out a try for the most part to see if maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised and proven wrong. So far, the safest bet I'll ever be able to make is that the newest Assassin's Creed game is going to be boring. That's been proven true time and time and time and time and time again for me personally, but maybe Shadows is the one to break that streak, and if it does, great, but it's still not going to change the way I feel about how Ubisoft is monetizing it. I think it is horrible for the industry overall. Even if the game comes out and it's great, I still can't stand what Ubisoft has done with their monetization of these games. I think it is fucking atrocious. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah.
It is atrocious, man.
That puff of lava. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Whoa. Something's going on here, boys. Something just ain't right. We're going down. Looks like they got us again. Censorship in a Squaresoft Enix game. It's been happening all too often.
I hate censorship in games.
Companies bend the knee to Western activists. Quick history lesson. You see, all this started in the 80s with the rock music. Stay-at-home moms protesting the devil's music. Then it was
That's right. That's right. This is the new thing for them to complain about. Because they got nothing else to do. They sitting at home, they gotta figure out something to get mad about. First it was rock music, then it was video games, then it was rap, and now it's video games again. The Karens.
In the 90s, attacking games like Mortal Kombat.
That's pretty bad. That's just plain gross.
But we fucking won those wars, boys.
That's right.
For years we held our ground. Our numbers
That's
were
right.
strong. You'll never take our games from us.
Pokemon getting 3 players like 4-player
What
games.
side of the fence you are? We all just want to play good games. Games
Imagine
brought us
that.
all together. But then they got a new type of enemy. Basement-dwelling Twitter wars. They've infected all forms of entertainment. From movies,
They sure have. They sure have. They are a fucking cancer. They are an absolute fucking cancer. I actually have a very good example for this afterwards.
television websites, and they spent years penetrating major corporations using DEI programs and slowly destroyed the chins and chests of many of our loved characters. Take my word for it. Let's see what the Square Enix ethics team thinks about this. 私の仕事の成果はユーザーが分かんなく最後までプレイできること。I'll translate that into non-Lebanese for you. The results of my job are that the users can play until the very end without feeling any discomfort.
Oh god. Nobody was ever feeling any discomfort. If a video game has got you feeling discomfort, talk to your therapist.
My games feel so soft these days. There are teams with checklists making sure that our games are not contain anything that can be remotely offensive to anybody. And the reason it's getting worse and worse is because all departments and major corporations are micromanaged to hell and back. This team has to find more and more and more content to censor in order to justify its own existence. Until finally, all of our games look like Concord. Nothing is serious anymore. And now they've somehow convinced Japan that they should change their media and culture for people who don't even play games. Over the years, Square Enix has slowly...
What do they do? Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. Yeah.
And it's getting worse and worse.
This is unacceptable. Yeah, unacceptable. It's heresy.
First thing I know was in my favorite game, Final Fantasy VII. Not the original. I'm talking about the remake, where they changed blood to be the color purple. They also ruined the story.
I could accept that because it probably could just be because of China.
Buddy Diner lost himself in the original, but is now gunned down instead because taking your own life is controversial.
I think suicide is also not able to be shown in Chinese media. I think so. And so both of those point towards China, but I don't know. Japan doesn't like blood? Yeah, so that could have been the reason. Doesn't make it any better, right? But like, just to make sure that we have the correct culprit here.
They've taken the designs from the fan-loved Akira Toriyama, one of the most important and legendary artists in modern history, and they just said, fuck this. It's not appropriate for modern audiences. And went ahead and
Of course not.
removed religious symbols and even lips.
Wait, what?
And went ahead and covered up the women in the game. Removed I'll get back to the lips in a little bit. I know these people. Akira Toriyama, the maker of Dragon Ball Z and many other works, passed away recently, and we fans are no longer able to experience any new material from him moving forward, as Square Enix has decided to water down his material from its own player base. Let's read the description of the classic crosses on the clerics. The gods. Hello, Square Enix. They are clerics, one of the most well-known and respected classes in all of RPG games. Let's continue. As evil-hating followers of the gods, clerics cast healing and reviving spells that are imbued with holy power. Okay, so you don't want any possible religious symbols in the game.
Boring. People trying to make the video game reflect their real-world personality. Sorry, real-world what's the word? Persuasions, proclivities. I don't know what it is, but it's just like perversion, persona, perception. It's so exhausting, bro. It's so annoying. To be fair here, they've been doing this Dragon Quest since the literal 90s. I know, and you guys need to understand that, like, anybody, see, like, a lot of us, I think the big reason why I have a lot of audience of people that watch me talk about this kind of stuff is that for a lot of us, this isn't our first rodeo. Like, we remember what it was like in the 2000s when the same shit was happening, but for a different reason. And then for a while, the insanity kind of stopped, and now it's picked back up again. Yeah, we're getting tired. Yeah, exactly. The same scare? Yeah, well, it's the same scare, but for a different reason. It was even weird because it stopped? Yeah. Back then it was from the outside, now it's from the inside. That's a really good point. You're right about that.
Look at that. A pitchfork. Was that for their choice of new depictions of the Christian devil? People are mental? They don't give a shit about the cross. And somehow this is even more offensive. Not only can we never again experience his work, check this out. Did you know Square Enix is partnering with the DEI computing company named Sweet Baby Inc., where one of their employees publicly disrespected Toriyama-san shortly after he passed?
Toriyama gave us the best and worst black characters in the anime. Man. That's crazy. Wow.
He created some of the worst black characters. That same company is now getting paid to this.
Like, I'm the only person that, like, whenever I was in middle school and high school, like, every black guy I know that liked anime, his favorite anime was like Dragon Ball Z. Like, especially in middle school. Like, and especially, like, Mexican or Hispanic, too. Like, everybody, like, that's what it was. Yeah, you need to go tell them that.
Destroying his work. It's unforgivable. Anyways, back to the body type B characters. Look at what they're doing to the women characters in the game.
Yep.
Here's the original, the warrior class. Looks great, right? Bam. Here's the remix. For some reason, I think it's better to cover up the women's tops and bottoms with some spandex-looking shit. Only the women, by the way, because only women can be sexualized, of course. Which is ironic because we got body type A characters and body.
Dragon Quest III Remake confusingly removes gender from protagonists. Completely change video games to appeal to nobody other than themselves and their other weirdo friends. How does this happen? We didn't, companies did. I just hope that people stop buying and supporting games that do this. Just totally stop supporting them. Inch by inch? Yeah, you do. People need to stop doing this because the moment that they start losing money is the moment that this stuff goes away. Because you are the enemy, Asma? No, well, I am. To them, I am absolutely the enemy. Like, I'm the bad guy. 100%. WoW has the same stuff. Yeah, and it's cringe for WoW, too. I said it then. Yeah, WoW got rid of gender as well. It's embarrassing. The reason why it's so embarrassing and annoying is because of how, like, just on-the-nose disingenuous it is. Why is it? Why? Yeah, they did. I'll go ahead and I can pull it up right now. I'll just look at, I'll look at Classic WoW. WoW Day again. Elden Ring 2? Yep, Elden Ring 2. See? Yep. And that's even in Classic WoW. That's not in the new game. That's in Classic WoW. Why is it hard to admit gender is a thing for these people? Because it's about an agenda and it's not about reality. Like, I'm gonna be honest, there are games, like, for example, Elden Ring also has this and nobody really cares, so it's not like every game that has this is bad. But if I see a game that uses body type 1 and 2 instead of male and female, I'm going to assume, like, that is another, like, very minor mining canary to me. If I see that, it's like, uh-oh, this game could be problematic. It's weird. It is weird. And the reason why it's weird is that it's so transparently and obviously male and female, because body type 1 is always male, body type 2 is always female. And if there are multiple genders, then why are there always only 2 body types? And also, why is it always that the more feminine looking body type is always having their chest covered? Why is that? It's just so patently obvious and so blatantly stupid that I can't believe that more people aren't annoyed by this. We're pandering to people that are fundamentally delusional about even the most basic concept of reality. Should never capitulate to people like that. It's insane. Yeah, these people don't even, like, they're I'm super annoyed. I am too. I think that there needs to be a huge pushback against this. Because I'm sick of having reality dictated to me by people that can't even understand reality. Mentally deranged people are ruining the world. You're right. Well, they're not ruining the world, they're ruining games. These people are awful. Does it really come from a Square Enix game? Yep. Something I know Andre, I don't waste my time on. Oh yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, if you don't care about this, here's the thing. I don't want anybody to get it twisted. If you don't care about this and you just want to play the game, I don't care. You do whatever you want. Like, you don't have to care about this. Like, if you don't care, like, I totally respect that. Yeah, definitely. But, like, I care. I find it annoying. And I think that if you don't care, it will just keep getting worse until it's unignorable.
Because they're women. It's like women that skip the 13 and go straight to the 14th. Where they try to fool people. Stop trying to fool people. Same thing happened with the assuming university. They should have turned around. You just use the word assuming, and it's when you refer to people that have been on the promiscuous side. The conjugal
like hoes?
person. It's a joke that only older players would understand. And younger players would just think it's a clown and a funny person. They like to play games and mess around. On top of that, they even censored the bottle of whiskey. Now it's just a bottle. They've completely butchered this class. Censoring this makes it...
Oh, man. How does this happen?
The whole damn point.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell, dudes? These modern sensibilities love to destroy designs made by others, while at the same time have no imagination or creativity. Take a look at Conquer, for fuck's sake.
Massage machine.
There's a reason why they make this not sell, and yet they think they can fix Toriyama-san's work. Give me a break. Come back to that.
That's always my favorite, is that these people who you don't even know their names think that they have the awareness and, you know, the artistic mandate to change the person's art who made Dragon Ball Z. Like, you're fixing it for him. You know what that reminds me? This is them fixing it, okay? This is them fixing it. Guys, we fixed it. Yep, there it is. Fucking weirdos, I know. They're fixing it.
Conspiracy. It looks like ogres can't have
They're
big,
modernizing
juicy lips
it.
for some reason. Why is that? Is it because they don't kiss their loved ones? Wrong, you rich son of a bitch. It's because lips equals black people. According to the
That's
Square
right.
Enix ethics team, they've been going
Yes.
after lips for decades. Started with Mr. Popo. Then they got our girl Jeans from Pokemon. And now it's ogres. Nobody is seeing big lips and thinking black people. But apparently Square Enix does. If anything, it's making the situation worse. Not to mention they gave them an extra finger.
Well, the problem with this is that it's a disingenuous assumption that the reason why, because, like, obviously, like, it was a very common thing in, like, the old days that for, like, minstrel plays and, like, to have actual blackface, and the red lips were part of the actual blackface. But it's very evident that that's not it's being represented. So at that point, that it's evident that this is not being represented. This is in North America, right? Yeah. That it's not being represented. That was not the intention. And so if somebody gets mad about it, they're getting mad about something that you weren't trying to do, putting words in your mouth, saying that you said them, and then wanting you to apologize to them for something that they said that you said that you didn't even fucking say. What is this? It's like the level of dishonesty with this is unbelievable. It's out of context. Yeah, they take it out of context on purpose. And then they get mad at you and they expect you to act under what they want you to do. It's the game's equivalent of the Netflix Witcher problem? Yes. Maybe the person trying to see racial stereotypes is everything and everything is the racist? Yeah. There are a lot of things that have like very passive racial stereotypes, but those racial stereotypes are not being acted on. Like, it's all over, like, media, right? Like, it's, like, massive. Like, there's the Hogwarts, like, the Harry Potter goblins. Like, goblins, like, there's, like, 4 or 5 Jewish stereotypes. Most goblins in video games now, like, 1 for 1. But people aren't seeing that and thinking, oh my God, that's a Jew. No, because that's not the point. That's not the intention. That's not the goal. That wasn't some kind of secret agenda. Just stop it. Like, stop making things up to get mad about them for no reason. It's not happening.
They can't even get the artwork right. This is a joke. You gotta want to tell you dudes what to support or not, but this franchise is being turned into a kid's game, and it completely disrespects Toriyama Akira-san's legacy.
It's not being turned into a kid's game. It's being turned into a game for 35-year-old people that behave and think like kids.
And shits on what makes the series art quirky and unique. For me personally, I'm gonna continue to fight censorship on games.
I'm gonna be at that one.
And if you don't care about it, well, I'm sure you'll get along with the 90s moms just fine.
How would you like
You'll care about censorship eventually because people like this always have problems. Their entire life is built around having problems, finding problems, and then complaining about them. And they will never stop having problems and finding problems because that's their job and that's how they get attention. So if everything is solved and they're happy, then they no longer have power and attention. And they're doing it for power and for attention, not necessarily because they think they're doing a good thing. So they're never going to stop having problems. This is an issue that will continue just getting worse until people put their foot down.
If you have a teenage daughter, go out on a date with someone who's just watched or played 3 hours of that game.
Peace.
That's right. What a good video. What a great video. I've never seen this guy's content before. Yeah, this guy's only got, wow, he's only got 168 views. Holy shit, yeah. 500 subs. I'm gonna link you guys the video. Yeah, that was really, really, really well put together for a small content creator. Give him a like, give him a sub. Like, that was really good. Jeez, yeah, I really hope this guy makes more videos. I think that it was really well put together. He offered explanations, like, even the Japanese content, too. And, like, yeah, that was amazing. So, yeah, I thought it was a 10K guy at least. So hopefully it will be, you know? Like, I love this kind of content. I think he did a great job. So, yeah.
your way to see. Right foot in the creek, boom, walking with that heat. Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see. Catch them bad, walk down, face them with that heat. The devil under your feature on your way to see. Right foot in the creek, boom, walking with that heat. Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see. Catch them bad, walk down, face them with that heat. The devil under your feature on your way to see. Right foot in the creek, boom,
I'm tired of this song.
Pink Sauce just officially
Sounds like a
failed.
lot.
So she made $121.
The pink sauce ain't made one sale this month. Not one single sale.
Chef Pete.
Why she got a hair? Bro. Why she got her hair like Cynthia? Why she do that? That's crazy. Wow.
Chef P's pink sauce has officially failed. In a series of update videos, she reveals her pitiful sales figures,
They gonna send me a check for.
admitting she's clueless about the product,
I don't know what's going on with the pink sauce. I don't know where the pink sauce at.
whilst being in denial, thinking
Oh,
it'll make a
smash.
comeback.
The pink sauce.
hell is
When they
Yeah.
thought you was, what does it say? When they thought you was gone, give up your oh, sorry. When they thought you was gone, give up your billion-dollar business.
Pink sauce will soon be a globally distributed product. I don't know how it's gonna happen.
The fact that
Yeah.
she experienced any success now seems like a miracle, as by Chef P's second
Well, the
video,
reason why stuff like this is successful is because it's funny. But, like, things like this are only funny for, like, a really short period of time, and then people lose interest in it. That's the reason why. It's a gimmick, yeah.
facing problems. In its very
She got
first
lost in the
showcase, the
sauce.
sauce had a vibrant appearance, but in the TikTok that followed, the pink was slightly different. The color has changed so much.
Ooh,
2 days later, it was back to a darker pink, but 5 days after this, it was lighter than ever before, creating instant
Yeah.
suspicion amongst potential customers. Why does it keep changing colors every video?
Because she mixing it the wrong way and she don't know how to do it the right way and she just puts in random shit and does it. Like, what did you think was going on? Like, you really thought that the FDA? Yeah.
Whilst the sauce's consistency was also inconsistent. In some videos it was thick, sticking to the food like glue, whilst in others it was watery, dripping off any food it was put on.
You know what's funny about this is I bet more people bought Belle Delphine's bathwater than bought this pink sauce. That's wild, huh? Ain't that something?
The fact that the consistency has changed so much really concerns me, although as shown in the very same comment, people were also incredibly curious. Why was it pink? How did she make it? Most importantly, what did the pink sauce taste like? Chef
People
P's
really, like, am I the only I don't really, like, we're gonna know what the answer to that is, but I really don't want to know what the answer to that is.
friends all seem to love it,
It's definitely a 10 out of 10.
but she didn't describe the flavor, building irresistible intrigue.
Honestly, it has its own taste. If you want to taste it, buy it. It goes on sale tonight.
People had gotten to the point of demanding she sell the product publicly.
Why? Why would you do that?
FP had held off for ages to ensure the source was perfect.
We are doing quality testing to ensure that we get the best quality out to you guys to have minimum to no complaints.
In a different TikTok, she included an inspirational soundbite stating, "The biggest thing you have to worry about is making sure your quality stays up, creating expectations that the source would be incredible." But as she announced her first drop of 100 limited bottles, the top comment hinted at the source's next problem. Is it approved by US Food and Drug Administration?
Delete that comment. Just delete and ban him. Just get rid of him. Get rid of him right off. Like like shut it down. Get rid of this dude.
Well, to put it simply, no. In fact, Chef P didn't even understand what it was.
What do you mean FDA approved?
They think I gone and go and shut down my $1 billion business. Oh yeah.
I'm crazy, man.
What do you mean?
What's FDA? He wants to give niggas
I don't
bottles.
sell medical product. The pink sauce don't contribute to your health.
Thinking the F in FDA stood for pharmaceutical.
Dang. Jesus here, Doom. Can't be your squats to get an ass like her.
It's been happening at 3 every fucking day, man. I don't know what the hell this is. The F stands for F. Yeah, I thought y'all were goofing around. Pharmaceutical. Damn, bro, this is really something special. I'm gonna be honest. This is crazy.
Food Drug Administration.
People are really out here buying and eating pig sauce from a woman who doesn't even know what the FDA stands for.
Absolutely.
To silence the backlash, she posted a live stream titled "The FDA is at my house."
In this case, we are taking the precautions.
Although people found this strange.
That's not how the FDA works. She made it like the FDA were like the police investigating a noise complaint. Like, did they send agents to her house or some shit? Next Gen has a live service problem. I feel like this problem is becoming bigger every single year.
Welcome back to Next Gen Come to Watch, our show following everything happening on the latest gaming hardware. I'm Dan Hatfield, and soon enjoy the next customizing PlayStation Podcast Beyond. Thanks for having me. And Destin McGarrett from IG's Xbox Podcast Unlocked.
Damn, what's happening?
And do we have the doozy of the new topic? You probably heard by now. So there's from sale and a show goes service today. This episode goes live on September 6th.
That's what's really surprising to me is they haven't shut down Suicide Squad. Because, like, if I look at Suicide Squad, well, it's actually gone up. I guess they must have done an update or something. But it was like, it's floundering around. Yeah, maybe they did an update. It's been floundering around at under 100 players. How are you maintaining a live service game with updates? And it increases your player base by 200.